Mr. Chairman, today the subcommittee considers legislation that codifies science denial. Just 2 days ago, we heard from some of the world's leading climate scientists. They told us that climate change is real, that it is caused by humans, and that the impacts could be devastating. Their scientific conclusions are the same as those reached by the National Academy of Sciences and the premier scientific organizations of all the world's major economies. Not a single scientist agreed with Senator Inhofe and Republicans on this committee that climate change is a hoax. Yet today this subcommittee considers legislation premised on Senator Inhofe's belief. H.R. 910 won't roll back the H.R. 910 would roll back the Clean Air Act and block the EPA from regulating dangerous carbon emissions from power plants, oil refineries, and other large polluters. This legislation overturns EPA's scientific finding that carbon pollution endangers health and welfare. It repeals the greenhouse gas reporting rule, and it removes EPA's authority to require energy efficiency at power plants and refineries. It also has a host of other effects, and I'd like to ask unanimous consent to put in the record an analysis of this legislation by our Democratic
Without objection.
In short, it is anti-science, a know-nothing, do-nothing approach to the most challenging environmental problem of our time. This bill won't stop carbon pollution from building up in the atmosphere. It won't address the public health threat facing American families. It won't stop the droughts and floods that threaten agriculture and displace families from their homes. It won't protect the air quality of our cities, and it won't stop the strange weather patterns that afflicted most of the nation. Some Republicans on the committee will argue today that this bill is not a rejection of science, but if they believed in the serious threat posed by climate change, they would have accepted our offer to work together without preconditions to develop a responsible plan for promoting clean energy and reducing carbon emissions. Instead, they've rebuffed the offer by myself and Representative Rush and are moving this extreme bill through our committee. It's hard to find common ground when one side doesn't accept that there's a problem. It's hard to know how to respond when the other side calls H.R. 910 the Energy Tax Prevention Act, but EPA has no authority to levy taxes, nor does the agency propose to do so. They claim that EPA is establishing a cap-and-trade program, but the agency has not proposed such a program and clearly stated they won't establish such a program. And yesterday, Speaker Boehner and today Chairman Upton argued that this legislation will stop gasoline prices from increasing, but it's laughable to assert that requiring new power plants and refineries to meet minimum efficiency standards is affecting prices at the pump. History will not judge this committee kindly if we become the last bastion of the polluter and science denier. When carbon emissions rise to record levels and our weather system goes haywire, the American people will ask why we acted so irresponsibly.